Welcome back to Connect with VP Hecht. This is the podcast for all things student life at Florida State University. This week, we are going to talk about spring break. What do you need to do to get ready, have a great time, and stay safe? Welcome to our Student Affairs podcast, Connect with Amy Hecht. And today I have a special guest, and we are dressed in our spring break attire, as you can tell. But I have a guest with me, Juan from CHAW.
Yes.
Juan, why don't you introduce yourself? And
Thank you so much, Amy. Yeah, so my name is Juan. I'm with CHAW. I'm one of the coordinators there, and I'm so glad to be part of this podcast.
so our listeners, they're getting ready for spring break.
Yes,
You work with drug and alcohol education,
I absolutely do.
which goes hand in hand sometimes with spring break.
A little bit.
So what students are planning, hopefully they're starting to plan their spring break. It's in a
Yes.
couple of weeks.
Mhm.
What should they start thinking about?
Oh, first of all, I love that you said they're planning. You have to have a plan. You don't go out to spring break without any plan.
Okay.
When we're talking about the plan, we're thinking about like where are you gonna go? Like what is your destination? Are you gonna be outside or are you gonna be inside? Who are you gonna be with? Are you gonna be with friends? Are you trying to do a solo adventure? And then what do you have to bring? Is it a more like a light backpacking? Is it a more like I have to get a suitcase? So anytime you're gonna go for a break, a destination, an adventure, you have to make a plan.
Yes.
So that's the basics.
Okay.
Another thing that you can do, Amy, I really want others to know, but you need to have fun. You need to have fun, but also stay safe. All right? That's the biggest thing. Have fun, but stay safe.
And don't you think some spring breakers, when
Yes.
you think of what they're doing, they're in a new environment, they're staying out late,
Yes.
maybe they're drinking. Are they a target? And what can they do so they're not a target for, theft, crime? Like, what are some of the things our students should be doing when they're out there?
Absolutely. So one of the first thing you have to do is know your surroundings. If you're like me, I always look for exits. I look for things that if I have to go out, that's where I need to be. And then take care of your belongings. So one of the biggest things you're having fun. You may not remember or you may not pay attention to what you have. Maybe your purse, keep it close to you. Your drink, make sure you keep it closed and make sure you're not taking any drinks from strangers.
Right,
I mean,
right.
that's almost really obvious. Don't take drinks from strangers. And also, one of the things is that you have to just be careful about maybe overconsumption. If you're over the age of 21 and you're drinking alcohol, it's good to alternate maybe alcoholic drink, then non-alcoholic drink. And make sure you're eating, right? Eat the good food.
Eat the good food. What if they're drinking in the sun? How does the
Ooh.
sun play? Like they're on the beach,
Oh,
they're having
yes.
fun. What should they
Absolutely.
know drinking in the sun?
We are here in Florida, and this is Sunshine State, everyone. And spring break, all about going out there in the sun, having fun with Goldie. Put your visors on, put some sunglasses on. Those are very important. But when you're drinking in the sun, one of the biggest things about alcohol and being exposed to sun is that you may get dehydrated. It's hot outside and alcohol works in a way that makes you dehydrated. So making sure you're always drinking water. And if not, you can also drink some Powerade.
Gatorade, right?
Not Gatorade, Powerade.
That's the thing.
Yes.
So students, they're going out, they're drinking,
Yes.
maybe in the sun. If they're 21
Yep.
and in the States, right? 21. What else should they know? What are the tips to what to eat to help absorb some of the alcohol and stay balanced?
So you want to eat a lot of carbs and protein.
Yeah.
You want to avoid greasy food. I know it's so good to have some fried chicken.
But isn't that hangover cure? Is
Well,
greasy
actually,
food or no?
greasy food is actually not a hangover cure, unlike what most people know.
Right?
It's really good to eat, but it's bad for the body composition, where it actually affects the alcohol absorption faster. So you actually absorb alcohol faster. If you're going to be drinking a non-alcoholic drink, I have a pro tip for you.
Okay, pro tip.
Try to avoid carbonated drink.
Oh.
Yes,
So like
because-
rum and coke.
Like rum and coke, and maybe even
Interesting.
because what happens is that, Amy, there's something called effervescence, which is how bubbly or how carbonated the drink is.
Yeah.
So the way it works in your body is that the flap in your stomach, it starts flapping and allowing the alcohol to be absorbed faster if you have a really bubbly drink. That's why when you're eating and you're drinking Coke, it just feels like it just flows down really quickly. And that's a thing with alcohol too.
Now, we do Narcan training.
Absolutely.
I know your area has been
Yes.
training students, faculty, and
Yes.
staff on what to do.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about Narcan, bringing it on spring break,
Yes.
what to do.
Absolutely.
Give me the highlights. What should students know?
Oh, real quick, just to let everybody know, we have been giving out Narcan for free to students, and we've given out over 2,000. If you don't know what Narcan is, absolutely. So Narcan is a life-saving medication in case there's an opioid overdose and you're around that overdose, you can save a life. It's similar to learning how to do CPR, but Narcan will bring that overdose person back to life. One thing, it's very safe.
Okay.
So it's very safe. There's nothing that will harm the person if you give them Narcan. Number 2, it's free. Number 3, it's very accessible and so easy to use.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little nasal spray.
Not an injection.
It's
You're not
an
giving anybody
injection.
a shot.
No. You're giving a nasal spray.
Yeah.
So you put it up through the nose and then you deploy it. It's very easy.
Okay.
If you would like to learn more, if you guys would like to learn more, we do a weekly Narcan training over at the University Health Services. And we do it. You get trained. It's about 15 to 20 minutes. And you get free Narcan with you. And you can even take extra for your friend.
Oh, that's great.
Very important.
So you take it with you. Something might be laced,
Yeah.
right, with fentanyl,
Absolutely.
opioid. So they'll have it in case they're around someone.
Yes.
And then what do they do after they deploy
So-
it? Do the students or person that they gave it to need to go to the hospital? What's next?
I want the person to first call 911.
Okay.
Call 911 because the most important thing about Narcan is that it's a bridge. It's not a cure,
Okay.
but it kicks out the overdose for about 90 minutes. So hopefully that's enough time for the EMS to come in there and then continue to help the person in overdose. They may not necessarily have to go with them, but one thing I want them to do is put the person on their side. Right?
Okay.
After you give the Narcan, put them on their side because they may start to vomit and you don't want them vomiting, back to their throat and, choking in that way.
Yeah.
Not good.
So
Yes.
I've gone to my spring break.
Okay.
I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm drinking, but
Yep.
I'm also drinking my water.
Yes.
I have my Narcan.
Yes.
Fortunately, I don't need it. But what if one of my friends drinks too much? How do I know I should take them to get help or they can just sleep it off?
Yeah. So I recommend knowing the signs of alcohol poisoning.
Okay. What are
When
those?
you know the sign of alcohol poisoning, I'm going to tell you,
Okay,
Amy.
good.
So one of the things is that when they start becoming really slurred speech, when they start having a little bit of mental confusion, not just being a little loose, but actually getting confused.
Okay.
They don't know the time, they don't know the place, they don't even know people's names.
Yeah.
When they start to vomit because of alcohol, when you start drinking enough to vomit, that's a sign that alcohol poisoning, your BAC or your blood alcohol content have increased so much that your body's trying to reduce it. I always recommend to people, if you have this experience, you have this situation,
Yeah.
somebody's unresponsive, maybe they pass out, maybe they vomit, they're cold to the touch, they're starting to feel cold, maybe a little bluish on their fingernails or around their lips, is that do not let them sleep it off.
Okay.
It's very important not to let them sleep it off. And also, don't tell them to go take a shower because they may slip and fall. They may have more harm to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest thing is try to keep them awake. Try to give them some water to hydrate themselves. Don't give them a lot of food because they may start vomiting or even choking on the food. Biggest thing, Amy, just like with Narcan, call 911. Very, very important because we want people to be safe.
Yeah.
We want people to have the professional help in case they need it.
Yeah.
And they don't need to worry about it because we have an amnesty program here and that they could, as long as they call 911,
Yep.
they stay with the person,
Yep.
and they cooperate with EMS or PD, they may be able to access this amnesty, which is amazing.
Yep. No
Yes.
conduct charges.
No conduct charges, which is great.
So I often hear, especially for first-year students who
Mm-hmm.
might not have been exposed to alcohol, surprise at how much they've drinking and the reaction. So the average weight of a female, average weight of a male, what is a safe amount to drink? And I also know the measurements are always interesting. What is a real shot? What is a real pour? So
Absolutely.
talk to me about that for our students that want to drink.
Yeah.
but they don't know their limit.
Yeah.
And they're not really understanding that 12 drinks a night for
Yeah,
for
12
your
drinks
average sized female, you are
That's
gonna
a lot.
yes, it is a lot. So
Yeah.
so what should students know about, let's normalize what they should and how much they should be
Absolutely.
drinking.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things I tell people is that the way you absorb alcohol differs between male and female bodies, and your weight is the biggest. If you're kind of like on the lighter side, less alcohol is better.
Yeah.
And if you're on the heavier side, you can take in a little bit more. But if I'm talking about how much, it's really gonna vary on each person.
Okay, so it's about weight
It's about weight,
and muscle
mass, fat, whether you ate, whether you drank, and how fast that you're drinking in between. If you take maybe 3 shots all at once, that's going to spike your BAC really quickly.
Yeah.
This is why I'd like to tell people, well, space and pace. Space and pace. Those are the two things when it comes to alcohol. I don't recommend anybody drinking any more than 5 standard alcoholic drinks within 2 hours.
Okay.
If you drink more than 5 or even 5 within 2 hours, that's classified as what we call binge drinking. And a lot of problems are associated with binge drinking, y'all.
So 5 drinks. So it could be 5 shot
5
size,
shots.
5 cans of beer,
5 cans of beer.
glasses of wine,
5
whatever
glasses
it is.
of wine.
Okay.
Yes. Anything. Don't aim for that. That's the upper limit.
That's the upper limit.
You know, stay away.
Less is more.
Less is more. And you know, a little thing about that, less is more, it's very important, Amy. Because the way alcohol affects us,
Yeah.
it's actually less is better. Because it spikes within about 2 to 3 alcoholic drinks. That feeling of like you're loose, you're having fun. That's what most people want when they drink, right? They want to have fun. They want to be a little bit loose,
A little more relaxed.
a little bit more relaxed.
Yep.
That actually spikes over at about 0.03 to 0.05 BAC. And most people can get there within 1 to 2, maybe a little bit of 3 if you're the heavier side. And then what happens
In
is
what, a 2-hour window? A 1 hour?
within that 1 to 2 hour window,
Okay.
1 to 3 drinks, and that hits its spike. And what happens is if you drink more, you actually start getting drunk in the sense that you are now experiencing the negative effects of alcohol. And then, you know, what's funny is that people think, oh, I don't feel as good anymore. Maybe I need to drink more, but it's actually the opposite. If you want to feel good, you need to slow down and get right back up to 0.03 to 0.05.
There's a balance.
There's
so how do
that
they get back?
balance.
Water?
Water, food, and not taking in more alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah.
So I'm sure we have some students working out, getting ready.
Yes.
What are you seeing? What's the healthiest way to get ready so you look good on spring break? What are you seeing of our students?
Oh, absolutely. Well, the biggest thing that anybody can do is going for walks.
Oh,
Getting 15 minutes of walking, maybe a little bit of a brisk walk every day, just getting your activity levels up
Yeah.
is a great way to stay in shape for your heart health, maybe for even your endurance and all those things. So that's the first step, is at least get out there, get the sunshine, the vitamin D, the walking, get a little bit of sweat out. You don't have to walk really slow. You can slowly walk, smell the flowers, but you can briskly walk and get that pump in. If you want to work out, there's a lot of body weight exercises that you can do, whether it's doing some push-ups, maybe some squats, maybe some lunges. A lot of things like that are a great way to get started on your fitness journey. We do have 2 great places here in FSU called the Leach,
Yeah,
and
free-
also the Fitness and Movement Clinic, which is located in the University Health Center. They have classes if you want to learn more about actually working out. You can be with a personal trainer, or you can be out there and meet some friends who are in the same fitness journey as you.
before you came to Florida, you were in Texas.
Absolutely, yes.
Have you had spring breaks?
Yes.
What was your favorite spring break and why?
Well, let me tell you,
Because I know you made no mistakes.
I made no
None of the
mistakes.
things that we talked
Absolutely.
about.
No, I was a really good person. Well, my favorite spring break was absolutely going to Florida. Actually,
Well, that's what brought you
That's
here.
why I'm
Where'd
here.
you go in Florida for your spring break?
so I went to Destin, Florida.
Okay.
Really nice, quiet beach. And, you know, just being out there, clear, crystal clear water, white sandy beach. Like it's just sugary even just walking there.
Okay, that's a plug for Destin. Plug for
Destin,
30A.
PCB, also St. George Island's also not bad. It's very close, 2 hours away. Yeah, but we live right here. Oh, it's just the Gulf Coast is so amazing. I've enjoyed my time. Actually, I went to Florida every year.
Okay, so that was your spring
That
break.
was my spring break destination. And then, Amy, I said, I'm moving.
I love it.
That's why I'm here.
So who knows? Wherever they're spring breaking, they might decide to move there.
Exactly. They may love it so much that they're like, I'm just gonna move. That's my destination.
So you had no spring break horror stories then,
Well,
or you did,
I did.
and that's
I
what
did
led
have
you
it.
to your career.
Yes. So unfortunately, I did have some, and I'm gonna redact some names, but I do know a person. I was there. We were out there in the beach, and the person was celebrating their birthday, and I didn't know all that I know now.
Right.
Unfortunately, I didn't know all that I know, and I wish I could go back in time. But what had happened was it's late at night. I don't recommend going to the beach late at night.
Another good tip.
Another good tip, don't go to the beach late at night. And another thing is that this person drank 2 handles of liquor within 2 hours.
Okay, not your 5 that you just recommended.
Nope, not at all. And started playing in the water, going this and that, and eventually passed out on the beach. And thankfully, there was somebody who called 911, and they were able to rush this person to the hospital, which saved his life.
Yeah.
And
Could have drowned.
could have drowned, could have
had
so many
died from
things
a-
happen.
yeah.
So this is why it's so important to know these things.
Yeah.
And also to know 911. Call 911 if something like this happens, because that's still my friend. He's still alive.
Still here.
He's still here. I love him, and it's great. But yeah, I've also had a lot of really fun stuff, fun spring breaks, because I now know what to do.
You know what to do.
I know what to do. Absolutely.
Juan, it's so awesome to talk to you, and I
Yes.
appreciate all you do for our students and getting them ready to have good time in spring break, but be safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me, and for all the Knowles out there. Have a safer spring break. I have one plug. In March 4th, we're going to have a safer spring break resource fair. It's going to be out there in the University Health Center.
Free stuff?
It's going to be free stuff, free education, free Narcan, and all sorts of great things that will help you have a safer spring break.
We're back with another special guest to talk to us about spring break from the student perspective. I have Claire. Claire, why don't you introduce yourself? What year are you?
Yes, so my name is Clare Dold. I'm a sophomore here at FSU. I'm currently studying public relations, and I'm also a marketing assistant at University Health Services.
Awesome. And so as a sophomore, you've already had one FSU spring break under your belt.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us, what are you doing to get ready for spring break? Do you know where you're going? Have you thought about it?
So I actually do, and that's a tip that I would give to students is please plan ahead. It's just so difficult when you don't plan ahead because everyone here is planning to leave for spring break. I mean, it's totally okay if you stay here. It's probably better if you stay here. But no.
It's definitely more financially affordable if you stay, right?
100%. I'm actually doing an affordable spring break this
Okay.
year.
Oh, I love it.
I'm going to Pensacola.
Okay.
So not far at all, 2 hours, super chill. Last year I went to Fort Lauderdale for spring break.
Okay. Different vibe.
Different vibe, crazy vibe, and I'm ready to get out of that vibe.
I am from Fort Lauderdale, and so I have never gone there for spring break because when you live there,
Exactly.
you just feel like that you could get there all the time.
100%.
So you're going to Pensacola.
Yes.
You've mapped it out. You know when you're leaving, going. Are you renting a house?
So we're renting an Airbnb, which I think is honestly super difficult for like students my age because most Airbnbs, they really only want to book people 25 and up just because of safety reasons. I understand. But luckily we were able to find a house in Pensacola. But I'm honestly really excited because I feel like I'm ready to just like, I'm going to pretend like there's no service there. I'm going to pretend like I don't need my phone.
Good. You're going to unplug.
I'm going to unplug.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm just on my computer 24/7 and like usually like I could be addicted to my phone, but like this spring break, like I'm not going to be. Like I'm so excited.
So you're going into spring break. You're going to not have any schoolwork. No
No.
books, no class academic books to read. You
No.
are going to unplug.
I'm so excited.
Okay. So what are you going to do in Pensacola?
Tan.
Tan? Okay. Tan.
Remember my sunscreen, obviously. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna really like tan. Other than that, maybe we could do some nice shops.
Okay.
I like shopping.
Good one. So really just
Literally
veg
unplug.
out, enjoy, relax with your friends.
Exactly.
So what are you doing right now to get ready? Anything?
The gym.
The gym. Okay. You've got a routine? What do we do?
I do actually. So I only have classes this year, Tuesday and Thursday. So I've been going to the gym other than those days.
Okay.
And it honestly feels really nice. I honestly feel like it's like a self-care.
Good. It is. It
My
is good for your mental
favorite-
health.
Yes, exactly. I honestly do think it is. Like people sometimes dread like the gym, but I think it
Do
like
you go to the
helps.
Leach?
I do go to the Leach.
Okay.
So my favorite like machine is the Stairmaster. I know a lot of girls love that these days, but I honestly love it. I feel like it's also like helped tone my body too a lot. Like
Yeah. Good cardio. Good.
cardio.
Okay.
Exactly. Some weights here and there. So exactly. We're
Okay,
studious
so-
over here.
You're going to Leach. Is there a good time to go? Because I'm hearing lots of waiting
Yeah.
because we're going to expand
Yes.
Leach hopefully in the next couple of years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's super exciting. I know there is like honestly not that many Stairmasters. So that is like maybe some advice I would give to students is like if I would probably not go after 5 p.m.
Okay.
That's when most students really go. I tend to go around, it's a little bit early, like 6 a.m., 6 to 9 a.m.
Okay.
Just because that's like before I go to work and things like that. And really, there's really no one really ever there.
That's good.
honestly,
Do you
when I'm
read?
gone.
Do you read, listen to podcasts, music? What
I-
keeps you entertained while you're at the
So,
gym?
I watch like a show. I'm currently hanged on Love Island UK.
Okay.
My favorite show ever. So that's what I watch on the Stairmaster, and it helps me like detach from the world. And I feel like I'm watching Love Island. I'm there with them, stepping on my stairs.
I love it. Getting ready for your
Yes.
beach vacation.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I love it so much. I'm trying to also like not go on a diet, like not trying to like lose weight, but like just be healthier,
Healthy.
eat more whole foods, things like that. Which I think also like
Is that easy to do here?
I think so. I think it's a little bit harder if you're in a dorm, but there's ways around it.
Okay.
Obviously, like if you have like an air fryer, things like that, you definitely
You can cook in the halls. Yeah. Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
So you can get it in. You just have to be more cognizant.
Yes, but it's definitely doable. And I've kind of like gone to the grocery store. I used to think like dieting was like the hardest thing ever. Like, I just want to say like I'm not dieting to lose weight. I'm dieting to be healthier. But honestly, it's
So
like
by dieting, you're saying like just being conscious of like healthy
being conscious of what
foods
I'm
and
eating,
thoughtful.
like, not eating Taco Bell at 12 a.m. anymore. Like, I'm
Probably a good rule of thumb. Yeah.
yeah. So
How do you feel about cooking? Like I hear from students they want to cook, but then when they get to cook, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a lot of work.
I know it is definitely hard, but I would say like outside resources like honestly just like Google helps a lot. I don't know, like maybe TikTok. It's really honestly it's not that hard. I think if you could find like a great person on YouTube, something like that, and talk about it. I know University Health Services has a nutrition services
They
on
do.
campus,
Yep.
and they're definitely really helpful. I actually interviewed 2 of them. They were amazing, and they were also giving me tips on my nutrition too. So, and it's free service. So
Might as well.
exactly.
After you graduate, there's not too many places you can get all the things we provide
And they're
for
lovely
free.
people. So I would go.
Learn the good habits now. And because you're cooking for one, which I think
Yeah.
is really hard because you're making single meals.
Yeah.
You don't want to eat the same thing all week. So you need to figure out something that you can make just for you or maybe one other person.
Yeah.
And things aren't going bad in your
Yeah.
fridge.
No, exactly. And it's like also I feel like it's hard with measurements too, because I'm like, I don't know how much I need to eat. Like, I don't know. But no, it's been good so far and I'm enjoying it. And I also like I have like a healthier aspect on it. Like I'm not going into like a trying to be skinnier
Yeah.
type of aspect. It's like genuinely want to be healthier.
Healthy. I feel like that is where the world is going. I'm hearing more and more. I just want to eat clean and fresh. Of course, we want to treat ourselves, but like be healthy
Yeah.
and just kind of be the best version.
I really hope that's the way it's going because it should be like
So, sounds like you've had good experience with spring break.
I feel like yes. I've had definitely a few horror stories though.
Yeah, or you might know people with horror stories. So, what are the things
Okay.
that can be a warning story for students, especially our first year students too? This is their first spring break.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. So last year, as I said, I went to Fort Lauderdale for spring break. I didn't eat anything or drink any water before I went to the beach, and like I think you can see where this is going. So me and my friends,
And it's a little hot there.
extremely hot. The rays are just raying on my face. So even though I had sunscreen on, it wasn't enough. So I was laying on the beach for a couple of hours. We decided to go back to the car. So and I don't know if you were from Fort Lauderdale, so you know like the Fort Lauderdale beach, like it's a big beach. Like
Yes.
it's pretty long.
Yeah,
like,
you were off of
walk.
Las Olas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And so we were walking back to the car, like in a parking lot, and I started walking, and I was like, guys, like, I do not feel well. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
And the heat emanating off that sidewalk.
it's like my feet burning, like my face, like I'm like, I feel like I cannot see everything. Everything's black. I'm like freaking out. I start feeling nauseous, like throwing up. Like it was not great. And like I was like obviously like fully sober. Like I
Right.
didn't drink any alcohol, anything like that.
It was like all dehydration and sun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, like let's just get you to like the nearest like restaurant. So I don't know if you've ever. Oh, wait, I actually forget the name of the restaurant. I'm sorry, but it was a Mexican restaurant like on the strip.
Okay.
So I just like randomly sat down on a table, like flopped myself, and I remember going like this, and then the next minute I remember waking up like with 20 people surrounding me. I thought I closed my eyes for like 5 seconds, and then I wake up with like 30 people around me, like so, like one of my friends on the phone with 911. I was like, oh my god, like what happened? They're like, you fainted, like you
Oh
like,
my gosh.
they're like you're like having like a seizure, like you fainted, and I was like, what? Like
And have you ever had a seizure before?
no, like
No.
I was like, oh my gosh, like what did I do? And I was so embarrassed because like you don't want to be that person.
And
like-
nowadays, somebody has a video of it.
yeah, like I'm like, did someone take a video? Like I
You don't know, but
don't know.
likely, yes.
And I was so embarrassed, and I feel bad for my friends. Like they're probably like petrified. like,
Yes.
me like just on the ground. Like I felt so bad, and like it made me realize that like what I did, just like I wouldn't feel bloated from a banana in the morning. Like I also like hurt my friends in the process. Like
Yeah.
I gave them like maybe like a trauma or like a PTSD from me literally falling on the ground. So yeah, it makes you realize like whatever you're doing to your body like could also affect other people.
Yeah.
And so I just want to tell like everyone out there, like you will not feel bloated from a banana or like an egg. I promise you. Please eat.
Eat something.
Please
Eat
eat.
something. Drink the water.
If you're going Mexico, Fort Lauderdale, wherever you're going, please eat. Like it's not that deep, I promise.
Yes.
So
Good-
that's my
good point.
advice. That was one of my horror stories for sure. I think that's like the biggest horror story. Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, why?
And that's, I don't think a lot of people understand like the heat, not eating, dehydration. Like you said, you weren't even drinking and you had what some would think is like, oh, she must have been like drinking all day in the sun. So yeah, really being aware because thank goodness you weren't alone when that happened.
So I was saying like when you're on spring break, like you need to surround yourself by people that you know that will take care of you and watch over you. Because like imagine if I was alone. Like,
Yeah.
I could have maybe gotten snatched up. You never know. Like
Yeah.
you never know what goes on, especially like in Fort Lauderdale areas like that, Mexico. You're just
Traveling outside the country, you should really be aware of your surroundings. Or
Yes.
somebody could have just stolen your bag
yeah.
while you were unconscious and then
Exactly.
you're missing money,
honestly-
passport.
Honestly, could have happened.
Yeah.
So I think definitely be around a good group of people like whenever you're out there because you never know. So
What would be money is no object? Best spring break you could dream up, like ideal spring break.
oh my gosh,
Won the lotto.
I won the lotto. Okay,
Lotto, you're going on spring break. Where are you going?
I feel like this is like kind of basic, but like it's like I want to go there for spring so bad. It's Cabo.
Okay.
I want to go there so bad. Like it
You're a
made,
beach girl, aren't you? You love the
am.
beach.
I like want to pretend that I'm like a surfer girl and I'm not.
You kind of look like a surfer girl in this,
I-
though. You could pass.
Don't I? I know, like I feel like ever since I was little, I was like, I'm gonna be a surfer girl when I'm older. My dad was like, you don't live near a beach, and I'm like, true,
We can fix that, though.
exactly. But I'm like,
I am sure there's people that will teach you to surf. We probably have a surfing club. You can make this
we
happen.
do have a surfing club. Should I join?
Absolutely.
Guys, hit me up, please.
To the surfing club. You got a new member. Help her out. Okay. She's going to be in Pensacola this spring break.
Yes,
Bring an extra surfboard.
that would be amazing.
Okay. So that's what you're going to do. In addition to tanning and laying around.
Yeah,
you're
I know,
going
it sounds
to
so
learn to surf.
boring.
No.
I don't know. I feel like
I'm sure your schedule's crazy. I'm sure all of these, you're in class, you're
know.
balancing all sorts of things. You just need that.
you literally just need a break. Like that's what also I'm saying. Like Juan said earlier, like you do not need to have a crazy spring break, like going crazy plans
Because
every
you gotta
night.
come back, and it is a mad rush till finals. Like you do not want to come back spent.
Exactly. So I'm like, just have a chill break. Like you don't have to feel like you need to be doing something crazy. Like you can just go to the beach. You could stay in Tallahassee, drive down to the beach for maybe a couple of days. Like you can just do it chill. It does not have to be crazy at all. And I think that's like, I think we should normalize that. I think
Yeah.
people like it's a misconception.
Yes,
People
with social media and Instagram, and it's like,
Exactly.
yeah, you're right.
Like, I need to go to Mexico for spring break. I need to go here. Like everyone's going there. Like I'm just staying in Tallahassee. I feel like a loser. You're not a loser. You're smarter. You have more money than
More
them
money in
now.
your pocket.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah,
Okay, I love it. These are good tips.
I'm glad.
And what is your favorite meal? So you're at Cabo, you won the lotto. What are you eating in Cabo while you are laying on the beach in between surfing.
In between surfing.
In between, yes.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. So I like my favorite food's Mexican, but like I feel like I don't know if I could eat like Mexican food on the beach.
Like maybe some fresh guacamole.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you know what? Like
Chips and guac and some fruit.
I will say chips and guac and fruit. That sounds like perfect.
I want to go to Cabo with
Can we go?
together.
Let's go.
'Cause I'm here for
some
the guac.
watermelon, some strawberries.
Absolutely. Some hydration.
We'll both surf together.
Yeah, I'll think about that.
Maybe we can like find a whale shark and like swim on it.
I'm here for that. I'm here for that. I'm a little scared of the sharks.
But whale
But I feel like a
sharks,
whale shark
They won't
will
hurt you.
tell the other sharks
Yeah.
like to back off.
Yeah.
That I'm cool. I'm all right. Okay.
Or like dolphins. I've heard dolphins are like bullies to sharks.
I like that.
I feel like the dolphins
Okay.
would be like, guys, stop. Like, they're friends.
Yes. Okay, I'm here for that. Well, it is so good to have you, Claire. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
I hope
having
you
me
have a
on.
great spring break.
Thank you, you too.
Well, so it is that time in our podcast where we have an Ask Amy question. And so this podcast question is, what should I do in my residence hall when I'm leaving? Like, what do I have to prep? So a few big things. Make sure everything is unplugged. You're taking out the food from your fridge that might go bad. You don't want to come back to that. Make sure you're locking all of your doors, securing your belongings, but do not bring your motorcycles, scooters, bikes, all those things. Do not bring them into your residence hall. It's not a garage. Leave them outside secured, because I'm sure you all saw that email. You don't want to get them stolen, but make sure you're securing them outside. And if you live off campus, make sure you're securing your apartments, your apartment complexes. With so many students leaving, they can really be a target for crime. And that is no way to come back after an amazing spring break having to deal with that. So that's a tip. And I'm sure more will be coming from housing and off campus about how to prep your living so that it will be safe while you're out of town. So that is all for this podcast. Thank you for joining us. It was great spending time with you. So don't forget, join us at Connect with Hecht, wherever you listen to your podcast.